right now, let's talk about the case of Steffon Josey-Davis with his attorney, Evan Nappen, who joins us on the program. Evan, thank you for your time today.
Hey, my pleasure. It's a great day for Steffon. He got a well-deserved pardon from Governor Christie, and we're really happy about it. Steffon's a good guy, as you well know. So it was just an honest mistake, and now his life doesn't have to be any further ruined by being a felon.
Yeah, this is as you say, this is a big deal because this is a full pardon.
Full and complete pardon. That's correct.
And Steffon Josey-Davis, he had already been convicted, right? The appeal was taking
That's right.
place.
He pled guilty. We were on appeal. We had filed an appeal to try to preserve his rights, but luckily the governor has come through.
So what does this mean legally, Evan, for Steffon? Does it basically just wipe this off of his record?
Well, what a pardon does is it removes the effects, the collateral consequences, the disabilities when one has a conviction. So it removes and relieves him of all the disqualifiers, et cetera. The next thing that we do as attorneys is we'll follow up actually expunging his record because normally you'd not be allowed to get an expungement, but the pardon actually relieves the disqualifiers of getting expunged. So we'll follow up the pardon with an expungement, which will remove it completely from his record. He's technically still convicted, but he has no loss of his rights that come with a conviction now. And next we want to remove the conviction itself. So it's a full and complete pardon that should cut the path for us to take the final step, which is more or less formality.
Okay. Did the governor? I mean, when the governor signs a bill, we'll get a signing statement. We'll get some sort of statement here. Did the government issue any sort of statement,
Well, I'd spoken with the governor's office today, and they did inform me that the governor has signed the pardon. So it's a fact that the pardon's signed. However, our office hasn't received the actual paperwork yet. Normally, we suspect it'd be emailed any time. But it is a fact that he has been pardoned. We just don't have the documentation yet. I assume the governor's office will be putting out something very shortly if they haven't done so already, and then we'll get the actual paperwork in that manner. So, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so it's real good. Hey, look, we're 3 for 3.
Right? And Evan, listen, at the risk of your legal practice,
yes,
would you like to see New Jersey gun laws change so that you didn't have to keep going to the governor's office with your client's cases?
Without a doubt. Let me tell you, Cam, I view myself in a similar manner to a cancer doctor. I don't think there's any cancer doctor who likes cancer. They'd love to cure it. They'd love for it to go away. They also know how important it is to help people who have cancer. That's how I view this. If this goes away, if all the gun laws were to go away tomorrow, Cam, I'd be the happiest guy around, and I'll find plenty of other things to do. I would be just ecstatic. So if they can fix these stupid laws, great. I'm all for it. Let's cure this cancer. That's what I say.
Well, and look, I mean, certainly Steffon Josey-Davis's case is going to make some headlines, and this comes days after the murder of Carol Bound. In Camden County, a woman who had applied for a gun permit. Again, another New Jersey resident, Evan, who had tried to work within the laws, right? And she was still waiting for her permit more than a month when she was murdered in her driveway.
Exactly. Look at how this dovetails. You have the gun laws when it comes to law-abiding citizens obtaining a gun being essentially costing her life. And then on the other side of it, you have the gun laws being enforced against law-abiding citizens to create these absurd situations where people's lives are being destroyed. The gun laws in New Jersey are horrible all around. Okay, they're bad for getting guns. They're bad for enforcing. They affect the law-abiding. And that's really who they only affect is the law-abiding, to the degree of either making them into felons or costing them their lives, and not allowing individuals to defend themselves with the best means available. I mean, it is absolutely outrageous. It's New Jersey. It needs to change as these things get more and more focus in by folks. I think they're starting to see the light. I mean, think of how many more law-abiding citizens do we need to see getting ruined, or how many other Carols do we need to see that are trying to exercise their constitutional right and can't do so? And, look, most of the time when you bring a gun, a person brings a knife to a gunfight, the gunfighter is going to win. I think it's fair to say she would have had a much better chance of survival if she had been able to lawfully have her firearm. But keep in mind, that chief violated New Jersey's statute, which mandated that it be done in 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
He failed to do so. Now, there is some case law out there where the court allowed chiefs to go beyond it. Of course, they bend over backwards to try to make some excuse for the chiefs. But, if the law was actually followed, it would make a difference. And the problem is Jersey's law doesn't have any teeth. So if the chief wants to abuse it and not file and not do it in the time frames, the recourse is extremely limited. And you also add into that all of our cases where the towns are adding even additional forms that are illegal. So it makes it even more of a challenge for individuals to get their license. It just needs serious reform, and instead it's agenda-driven by the anti-gunners, and they turn a blind eye to these folks. I mean, who on the anti-gun side, let's just say, was out there for Steffon? Who in the arguably liberal side was out there for a guy like him that really needs help? Nobody's out there doing that. And what do they have to say now about Carol? And I mean, the political correctness of domestic violence is fine when they're using it to take away our gun rights. But when you have a domestic violence victim whose life has been taken, their silence is deafening on that, isn't it?
Absolutely. Well, listen, Evan, thank you again for everything that you do.
My pleasure.
I
Thank
appreciate you coming on the program. No, listen, I do mean that. And on behalf of our audience, I know that they really appreciate all your efforts as well. We are making a difference in New Jersey, one case at a time, but we're making a difference.
It's keeping it in the public eye, and eventually, I believe that where the truth is on our side, we've got to win it at some point, Cam.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks so much,
right,
Evan.
we'll
talk soon.
Bye now.
Evan Nappen joining us here on NRA News, Cam and Company.